Welcome to Trading Mindset Talks, where we explore trading psychology, emotional clarity, and how to grow as a trader from the inside out. Each video here helps you develop the mindset of a consistent, calm, and focused trader. In the last video, we explored how emotions influence your trading decisions and how to use real-time tools to control them. But emotional control is only part of the journey. To really grow, you must understand what is going on inside you before it spills out onto the chart. This deeper level of awareness, not just of the market, but of yourself, is what today's episode is all about, because the truth is, you cannot manage what you do not notice. You might have the best trading strategy, but if you are unaware of your own fear, greed, or hesitation, that strategy will not help. You may think you are being logical, but if you are unaware of your inner noise, you are likely trading from reaction, not reflection. Self-awareness is the foundation of all mindful trading. It is the ability to observe your thoughts, emotions, and impulses without being ruled by them. It is what allows you to pause before revenge trading, to notice when ego is taking over, to admit when fear is clouding your judgment, and the best part, it can be trained. In this episode, we will look at why most traders operate on autopilot without even realizing it, how to recognize your emotional triggers in real time, tools that build your awareness muscle, and how to use that awareness to become more consistent. So whether you are just starting out or have been trading for years, this inner work is what separates a struggling trader from a stable one. If you find value here, make sure to subscribe and continue growing with us. Let us start. Chapter 1: Awareness versus Autopilot. How most traders operate. Imagine this: you are in a trade, you feel a little unsure, but you click the buy button anyway. A few minutes later, the market moves against you. You quickly exit, then re-enter, then exit again. Later, when you reflect, if you reflect, you are not even sure why you took the trade in the first place. This is trading on autopilot, and it is more common than most traders want to admit. Most traders are not lacking information. They have access to charts, tools, and analysis. What they lack is awareness in the moment. They enter trades without checking their emotional state. They exit too early or too late, not based on a plan, but based on a feeling. They chase setups after a losing trade, hoping to recover quickly. They freeze when the market does something unexpected. In each of these cases, they are not consciously choosing. They are reacting, and reaction is the language of autopilot. Autopilot is not just a habit. It is a deeply wired mode of operating, shaped by past experiences, mental shortcuts, and survival instincts. It shows up in many ways: placing a trade without reviewing your setup checklist, increasing lot size after a win because you feel confident, avoiding trades after a loss because you feel unsure, breaking your stop-loss rule just this once. In these moments, the trader is not present. They are not aware. They are being run by emotion, habit, and impulse. Awareness changes that. When you are aware, you notice the subtle shift in energy before a trade. You catch that small voice saying, "Just enter now." You might miss it. You pause, you breathe, you return to your plan. This one pause, this one moment of awareness can change everything, because now you are back in control, not of the market, but of yourself. And that is where your real edge begins. Many traders want a strategy that works every time, but few are willing to build the inner stability required to follow a plan. Autopilot says, "Let's just act quickly," while awareness says, "Let's check carefully." And over time, these small differences create a huge gap in performance. So the question is not just, what is the best setup? The real question is, am I even aware of what I'm doing right now? Because if you are not aware, no amount of strategy will save you. That is why the first shift every trader must make is from autopilot to awareness. It is not easy, but it is powerful. And in the next chapter, we will see how to recognize those emotional shifts before they take over, because that is the beginning of real change. Chapter 2: Internal Triggers. How to catch your emotional shifts. Most emotional trades do not begin with a chart pattern. They begin with a feeling, often subtle, sometimes invisible, a small tension in your chest, a flash of excitement when price breaks a level, a need to make it back after a loss. These are internal triggers, and the earlier you notice them, the more power you have to respond, not react. Emotional shifts do not announce themselves with flashing lights. They sneak in, like background noise you barely notice. But your body always knows. Before your mind even catches it, your body gives you clues. Your breathing gets shallow, your shoulders tighten, you lean forward with urgency. If you are not aware, you might ignore these signals. But if you slow down and observe, even for a moment, you begin to notice the shift. And once you notice, you can choose. Here is how internal triggers usually unfold. Trigger event: a loss. A missed trade, a sudden move in price. Emotional surge: frustration, fear, urgency, or even hope. Physical reaction: tension, restlessness, shallow breath. Impulse to act: break your plan. Enter early, move your stop. If you are unaware, you will follow this chain without question. But if you are aware, you interrupt it, you pause, and you ask, what am I feeling right now? And that pause changes everything. You do not have to be perfect. Self-awareness is not about stopping emotions, it is about noticing them, so they do not drive your actions blindly. Start with this simple practice. Before each trade, take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Label it, name the emotion, then ask, does this emotion belong in this trade? That question alone can save you from a bad decision. Let us be honest, markets are emotional. You are human, you will feel things, but your job is not to eliminate those emotions. Your job is to recognize them, to respond with awareness. Over time, you will start noticing the pattern. I always get excited when price moves fast. I always get tense after a loss. I tend to hesitate when I am winning. These are not flaws, they are your emotional blueprint, and becoming familiar with that blueprint is the key to transformation. Because once you see it, you are no longer trapped by it. In the next chapter, we will explore how to strengthen your awareness muscle, with tools and practices that turn you from a reactive trader into an aware one. It is not about being emotionless, it is about being emotionally honest. That is the skill of mindful trading. Chapter 3: Building the Observer. Tools that increase awareness. Becoming a mindful trader starts with building your inner observer. That quiet part of you that sees what is happening without being pulled into it. This is not about controlling everything. It is about noticing what is happening inside you in real time. You cannot always stop emotions, but you can become skilled at recognizing them, and recognition is where choice begins. So how do you strengthen this observer within you? There are a few simple but powerful tools you can use, both during and outside market hours. The first tool is the pause. Before each trading session, take a moment to sit still. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. Ask yourself, how am I feeling today? Notice what shows up. Without judgment, you are not trying to fix anything. You are just becoming aware. This one pause helps you connect to your inner state before the charts start to move. It helps you bring attention to the present moment, instead of carrying emotional residue from the past or fear about the future. The second tool is journaling, but not just trade journaling, emotional journaling. After each session, write a few lines about what you felt during the day. What triggered you? When did you hesitate? When did you feel confident? You do not need to write a lot. Just honest observations. Over time, you will see patterns. Maybe you always get nervous after your first trade. Maybe you get greedy after a big win. These patterns are gold. They are your emotional roadmap, and by seeing them clearly, you become less likely to repeat them unconsciously. Another helpful tool is a post-trade reflection checklist. Right after exiting a trade, ask yourself, did I follow my plan? What was I feeling before entering? What was I feeling during the trade? What do I wish I had done differently? Answering these questions does not take long, but they build your ability to observe in real time, not just in hindsight. And finally, there is body awareness. Your body is your earliest warning system. If you notice your jaw clenching, your breath shortening, or your shoulders tensing, pause. Ask what emotion is behind that physical reaction. The body speaks before the mind catches up. Learn to listen, None of these tools are complicated, but they require consistency. It is not about doing them once, it is about turning them into habits. Small daily rituals that train your mind to stay awake. Remember, awareness is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And as that observer within you becomes more present, your trading becomes less reactive and more deliberate. You stop chasing, you stop freezing, you stop repeating the same emotional mistakes, because now you are watching yourself in action. And that kind of self-awareness changes everything. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to take this awareness and apply it to build consistency, the hallmark of every successful trader. Chapter 4, From Awareness to Consistency. Applying what you see. Awareness is powerful, but only if you use it. Becoming aware of your emotions, impulses, and patterns is the first step. But what you do with that awareness, that is what turns a mindful trader into a consistent one. Many traders are aware, but still inconsistent. Why? Because they notice their patterns, but do not change how they respond. Awareness without action leads to understanding, but awareness with action leads to transformation. So how do you turn inner awareness into outer consistency? The first key is integration. You must connect your insights back to your trading process. Let us say you notice that after 3 wins in a row you tend to overtrade. That is a great insight. But now it needs a plan. Maybe you set a rule. After 3 wins, I take a 10-minute break, no trades. This rule takes your awareness and anchors it into behavior. Over time, that becomes a habit. And habits are the foundation of consistency. The second key is review. Awareness grows when you reflect, again and again. After each week, take time to look back, not just at your trades, but at your mindset. What were your best emotional moments? Where did you slip into reaction? What did you learn about yourself? Write it down, track it. Celebrate the days you stayed present. Learn from the days you did not. This ongoing review process is what helps awareness stay alive. The third key is repetition. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about practicing the same principles. Even when you fail, there will be days when you fall back into old habits. That is okay. Awareness gives you the chance to course correct quickly, instead of spiraling after one bad trade. You pause, you observe, you reset, and you get back to the plan. That is how consistency is built, moment by moment. The fourth key is emotional acceptance. Consistency does not mean you will not feel fear, greed, or doubt. It means you stop letting those emotions surprise or control you. You expect them, you prepare for them, and when they arise, you recognize them as signals, not orders. For example, when you feel fear after entering a trade, you do not exit immediately. You check your plan. You ask, is this fear justified? Or is this just discomfort? You respond, not react. This level of emotional honesty allows you to trade from clarity, not confusion. And finally, the fifth key is trust. Trust in your process. Trust in your self-awareness. And trust in the fact that even small steps, when repeated, lead to big changes. When you combine awareness with discipline, when you connect emotion with routine, when you treat every trade as feedback, not identity, you grow. You become the kind of trader who shows up consistently, regardless of wins or losses. You stop chasing the market. You start trusting yourself. And that is what mindful consistency really looks like. Let us wrap it all together and talk about how to continue growing this awareness, one day, one trade, one breath at a time. So you have now completed this episode on self-awareness, the core foundation of mindful trading. We explored how most traders operate on autopilot, how to recognize emotional shifts in real time, what tools can build your awareness muscle, and how to turn awareness into consistent trading behavior. You now understand that trading is not just about price action or strategies. It is about knowing yourself in the moment and staying present, no matter what the market throws at you. If you practice even one technique from this episode consistently, you will start noticing changes. Not overnight, but gradually. Your clarity will improve, your reactions will soften, and your confidence will come from within, not from results. This is the work of a mindful trader. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to Mindful Trading audiobooks. We are building a library of calm, clear, psychology-based content to support your trading. And if you have not yet watched our first 2 episodes on what mindful trading is and how to control emotions in real time, you can find them in the Mindful Trading series playlist. Every episode builds on the last. Every topic brings you closer to trading from awareness, not reaction. So stay with us. Re-listen when needed. Practice what resonates. And remember, one breath, one trade, one day at a time. This is your path. This is your edge. This is mindful trading.